Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Hazoor, cooking wines are quite extensively used in Western culture. My understanding is that once you heat wine, it loses its property of intoxicating people. So the question is it okay to eat food cooked in wine or cooking wine?
To do what? To eat food cooked in wine.
Yes, sir.
Now this is again a very delicate question, difficult to answer in yes and no's, because the Muslim jurists have discussed this question long before, much before coming into contact with the Western society and the Western ways of cooking. Now the definition of the intoxicant was the first step to be made in this direction, because the Holy Quran did not use the word wine at all anywhere. The Holy Quran used the word sakar, which means anything which has the power to intoxicate. So the Muslim jurists tried to define not alcohol, but this thing which mentioned in the Holy Quran as something whose excess is capable of intoxicating you and to influence you to a degree where you lose your power of balance. Even a drop of that thing is haram, is forbidden. You understand?
Yes.
So that those who take the plea that because if we drink a glass of something, let's say beer or something, it doesn't intoxicate us. So according to Islam, because intoxicants are forbidden, it doesn't fall in the category of intoxicant. This plea is totally rejected because of that definition. So almost all the Muslim scholars have agreed on this definition. Excess of any substance which may intoxicate you, even the small quantity of that substance is forbidden. Now let's turn to many drinks or foods or medicines of the modern times in which we find traces of alcohol or sometimes even larger quantities of alcohol. Let's first turn to the question of medicine. In homeopathy, which I practice, the entire homeopathic medicines found in liquid form, the medicines are dissolved in alcohol, and there is no other media of preparing homeopathic medicine. It has to be in alcohol. All the tinctures are in alcohol, and if the tinctures are not in alcohol, they would disintegrate in no time. So the preserving qualities of alcohol make it essential that you make your medicines in alcohol. So what about this principle in this case? If excess of something is intoxicating, then the small quantity should also be forbidden. Answer to this question was a sensible answer to this question was given by one of my uncles, late uncles, Hazrat Mirza Ahmad Sahib once. He said that in medicine, we're not talking of homeopathy. In medicine, the quantity of medicine in which alcohol is a part has to be small enough, and in that quantity that thing cannot be intoxicant. And if you increase the quantity before the level of intoxication, you may die of the poison of the medicine itself, because medicine contains other substances which become prohibitive for you to use medicine in excessive quantities. So thereby all such medicines are safe from Islamic point of view, because there you can never have excess of that medicine even if you want to. So you can never use it as intoxicant, so even the small quantities are good. That was one thing which is understandable, but it applies to a comparatively smaller area. As far as homeopathy goes, we know that for its dispensation, such small quantities are required, and particularly when you use homeopathic liquids for transferring the medicinal quantities to sugar, then the spirit completely evaporates, and in the sugar pills which are left behind there are no traces of alcohol in fact. And even if there are traces, you can't even eat 1 kilo of that sugar to become intoxicated. So the quantity still remains so minute that it is impossible for you to be intoxicated by that homeopathic medicine. So obviously this principle does not apply there as well. Now turning to food. In Germany, when I went to Germany recently, this question was asked during a question and answer session, and some ladies wanted me to be very clear on this, because the children daily face this problem of deciding whether to eat this cake or not. Many cakes in Germany are prepared in a way that alcohol becomes a part of the preparation. So my answer to the lady was that as far as those food preparations are concerned where alcohol is applied and burnt, there this principle of excessive use does not apply at all. Because if alcohol is burnt after adding to some food, even if you eat tons of that food, you can never become intoxicated. So you can become a mullah and very narrow-minded, of course, as you please, but as far as the principles are concerned, they are not applicable. That is why Hazrat sallallahu alaihi wasallam permitted the use of nabiz. Nabiz was also a food, it was not a medicine, a drink, prepared from sometimes dates and sometimes barks of trees. Mixed in water, it was permitted to be buried in the ground overnight. And if you drank it fresh after that, it was enough. If you drank it in enough quantities to quench your thirst, it would quench the thirst but still would not intoxicate you. So it was not possible to use it as an alcoholic drink. But if it was permitted to stay longer than that, then the amount of alcohol which would have been formed in it would exceed this limit. So Sahaba used to drink this drink in which elements of alcohol were definitely formed. So that's what I'm saying. To those extremists who say that if a food is touched even by a very minute amount of alcohol, it becomes forbidden in Islam, I say Rasul Akram sallallahu alaihi wasallam knew Islam better than anyone. Why did he permit the use of this drink, in which now the experiments have revealed traces of alcohol are certainly found? Because of the same principle, you generally can't drink it enough to make you intoxicant. It may burst your stomach apart, but it would not be able to intoxicate you in the quantities you can consume. So can you eat such cakes enough on which alcohol has been poured and burnt out so that you become intoxicated? Even if you eat tons of such cakes, you can't. But I told this lady, which I am telling you as well, I don't eat such cakes, knowing it. Because if I take one step in this direction, I know other people will start taking many steps in that direction and start misusing this license. So safe principle is something else. correct true application of a principle of jurisprudence is something else. As far as my advice I told her to you and to your children is concerned, don't take this license. Because if you permit your children to start eating such cakes, you have a society of wine drinkers and beer drinkers. So they will have this taboo destroyed. You know, this inhibition, inborn inhibition, will be damaged. Then they will gradually be drawn into transgressing into other positively forbidden areas. So this is the safe principle. But to be correct, meticulously correct in an answer of jurisprudence, a question of jurisprudence, I don't think those people who commit this error, let's say, violate the principle of Islam categorically. Right?
Jazakallah.
Please.